Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If I had to start learning piano today as a busy adult after playing for over 20 years, here's exactly what I would do. If you are tired of learning piano in a way that just leaves you feeling burnt out and getting nowhere, I promise you that these 7 tips will be super beneficial for you to start playing immediately today. No wasting time, let's get right to it. Go ahead and grab a notebook or open the Notes app on your phone and let's dive right in. First tip is to choose your piano wisely. If you are teaching your child how to drive for the very first time, you don't want to provide them with a really junky car that's just going to break down the moment they push the gas pedal, right? Of course, you want to provide them with something quality that will get them to and from their basketball games, their friends' hangouts, all of their school functions, and of course, sending them on errands to the grocery store so that you don't have to anymore. So the same thing is true with piano. You want to go ahead and provide yourself with a quality instrument that is going to last you for years to come. I would highly recommend purchasing a used acoustic piano because you're going to be able to develop the best piano technique that way. You don't want to accidentally develop wrong technique and just waste a bunch of valuable time. There also are very good digital options that come with weighted keys that mimic the action of an acoustic piano. So feel free to download my free guide below if you want more information on purchasing your first piano. My second tip is to ditch perfection and just start learning chords early. Don't start with note reading. Of course, note reading has its time and place, but just like we learn how to talk before we learn how to read, it's the same thing with learning an instrument. So feel free to just dive right into those chords, learn your C chord, your A minor chord, your F major, G major, all of those hardy chords that show up again and again in different pop songs. Note reading will come later, I promise. The third step is to not try to cram all of your practice into one day of the week and just designate like 2 hours on a Sunday and think like, I'm going to go over everything I learned recently and I'm going to have it mastered in these 2 hours. Well, it's not really like how our brain works. You're actually working against your brain when you do that. I would really recommend just starting with 15 to 20 minutes and stick with that for 6 days a week. You can do it in the morning, early in the morning, if you're an early bird, before your kids get up, before you have to be to work. You can do it when you come home, before you eat dinner, or you can do it after you put your kids to bed and the house is nice and quiet. It's up to you, however you function, but just make sure you do it every day. And I promise, you will see results after you consistently devote time to this. My fourth tip is to start simple sight reading. Okay, now the key word is simple. Now this does involve note reading, so you're going to have to learn your landmark notes like middle C, treble G, bass F, bass C, but just start with very short little excerpts that you can sight read, meaning play on the spot without previous practice with one hand at a time. You can focus on learning one clef and not have so much black on the page and be intimidated by that. So just start with a few notes, like 3 to 5 notes in one clef, and master several rhythms using those. My next tip is to play songs you love. Okay, so we like to play things that we hear on a regular basis. That's what we naturally gravitate towards. So go with that. Don't try to fight yourself into and force yourself into learning Mozart and Beethoven right away. Just start with some simple pop songs that you hear on a regular basis on Spotify, when you're at the gym listening to different music, when you're in the grocery store, the latest song you heard at your favorite concert, whatever you want. And you can also feel free to make a bucket list on your phone of songs you want to learn as your skills progress and develop more and more. Next, my next tip is so important. You have to record yourself, okay? So this might not seem very important, but it's kind of like looking in the mirror. So if I had a piece of dirt on my head and you're like, oh, Lauren, you have a piece of dirt on your head, a little to the left, a little back, that would be so much more confusing than if I just go look in the mirror and brush the piece of dirt off myself, right? So same with a practice journal. Use your phone. We are so fortunate in the digital age to have all of these recording devices, and just record yourself for a little bit each day, and then put that into a folder on your phone and label it piano practice. And at the end of 30 days, I promise you, maybe even before that, you're going to see a lot of progress. We forget a lot of things on a daily basis, and so we can't necessarily remember how our practice went 6 days ago. But if you have it recorded, you can really see how far you've come, and you can also change things up. And feel free to, use your audio or voice memo on your phone. You can record right on your piano if you have a digital piano. I will warn you though that some digital pianos will not store your song when you turn them off. So be sure to just check that, and make sure that won't be lost when you turn your piano back on. My next tip for you is to find accountability and community. No one wants to do this alone. It's very boring. And so I'd really recommend finding a local Facebook group, people in your community, perhaps your neighbors or coworkers who are also interested in learning piano as a busy adult, people who want to devote and carve out that time to really make some music, right? And the best community that you can have is your own family. Perhaps your child is also in music lessons, piano lessons, or another instrument. And so over time, you can learn to play duets with them and talk about what you're developing in your music studies and form a really great bond that way. Now, okay, that was 7 tips, but I also want to leave you with a bonus tip, and that is to take advantage of an app, and that is called Tenuto. This app has so many note reading features on it, and also can quiz you on intervals, which is the distance between notes, and intervals are what we use to make chords. It will also quiz you on scales. It has guitar information on there, and so you can really get so much use out of this app for years to come. I will go ahead and link it below. So I hope that these tips have been beneficial for you and will help you start playing right away. Leave me a comment below telling me what your biggest piano struggle is, and I will see you in the next video.